For a moment, even Shiva's calm gaze sharpened, because 6 mothers were about to lose each other. The night air held that special hush that comes before a storm or a birth. On a sacred clearing, the 6 Kritikas stood in a loose circle, each one with her own hands trembling, each one with her own heartbeat racing. They had raised him with a love that didn't ask permission. They had fed him, soothed him, sung to him, and now the question sat between them like a blade. Who is his mother? Little Skanda, Kartikeya, stood at the center, bright-eyed and fierce, not yet the general of the Devas, not yet the spear-bearing warrior the worlds would salute, just a child with an aura too strong for ordinary answers. The 6 women watched him as if they were seeing the sun for the first time, and also as if the sun might choose only one sky. Behind them, Agni flickered in the background like a guilty witness. Fire has a way of being present at every turning point, whether invited or not. And at the edge of the clearing, Shiva and Parvati stood in silence, not intervening, just watching with that divine patience that lets human hearts reveal themselves fully. One Kritika stepped forward, then another, then another. Their faces held devotion, yes, but also fear. Not fear of punishment, fear of being erased. Because love makes you brave enough to claim, and brave enough to surrender. They began to speak at once, voices overlapping. I carried him in my arms. I woke at night for his cries. He smiled first at me. I taught him his first steps. Their words weren't accusations, they were offerings, proof that they had been chosen by love. And Skanda looked from one to the next, as if his small chest could not contain how much he belonged. Parvati's eyes softened, because she understood this pain. Motherhood isn't only about giving birth. It's about being the place a soul learns safety. But the tension grew. The sky itself seemed to lean in.
6 lives, 6 attachments, 6 claims. How could a child hold them all without breaking someone's heart? Then Skanda lifted his chin. He didn't point to one. He stepped toward all. In that simple motion, the spectacle began. The 6 Kritikas moved closer, not fighting, not pulling him apart, but coming together as if some invisible rhythm had called them into the same beat. Shoulder brushed shoulder, bangles touched, breath met breath, and their bodies began to overlap. Not like flesh squeezing into flesh, like light sliding over light. As they stepped in unison, their forms shimmered, 6 outlines becoming 12, then 1. Their faces passed through each other the way sunbeams pass through water. The air turned radiant, thick with a golden white glow. The edges of their bodies blurred like lamps seen through sacred smoke. 6 mothers fused into one goddess before the child. One form stood where there had been 6, tall, luminous, terrifyingly tender. Not a loss, not a theft, an arrival. The metamorphosis was so complete that even the wind fell quiet, as if afraid to interrupt. And then, slowly, the one goddess turned her face. 6 kinds of love looked out from one gaze, 6 kinds of patience, 6 kinds of fierce protection. Skanda's expression changed. The confusion on his young face melted into recognition, not of a single mother replacing many, but of many loves refusing to compete. He stepped forward and pressed his forehead into that radiant form, small head against divine warmth. And Shiva, who rarely shows surprise, let a faint smile touch his lips, because he knew what the worlds would one day call this child. Shanmukha, the 6-faced. But tonight, the truth beneath the name revealed itself. Not that Skanda had too many mothers, that love itself had too many faces. Parvati's eyes glistened, not with jealousy, but with reverence. She saw it clearly. Motherhood is not a throne to defend. It's a fire that spreads without diminishing. The goddess, born from merging, lifted her hand and blessed the child. And in that blessing was a promise. You will never have to choose between the ones who loved you. Because when devotion is pure,
It doesn't ask, who is more? It asks, how can we become one shelter? And that is why Skanda's origin is not just a story of divine birth. It is the reminder that the greatest families are not formed by possession, but by love strong enough to merge.